Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Teen. Happy New Year. This is Gwendolyn. Welcome back to the channel. I just want to wish everyone a Happy New Year out there. And this video is going to be a monthly Terrascope for Scorpio for Teen. So I'm just going to shuffle the cards here, and then we'll get right into the monthly Terrascope for Scorpio. At the beginning of Teen, we are finishing up on that last week of the Mercury retrograde in Capricorn. So it's still a good time for Mercury retrograde themes like reflection, reassessment, reevaluation, rethinking things, restructuring things, just things that are about going backwards and reviewing and revising rather than necessarily going forwards. And it's a good time to wrap up old projects, like complete things that had been started before, or tie up loose ends, or, just kind of like reflecting upon the past year, 16, and thinking about like where you want to set your sights differently or assess your goals and, projects for the future, because the Mercury retrograde is in Capricorn, and Capricorn is all about achievements, accomplishments, goal setting, where we want to go to climb that mountain, because Capricorn is the symbol of the mountain goat. So when we have a Mercury retrograde in Capricorn, it's kind of like revising your map or adjusting your sails, making sure that you're going in the direction that you want to go in. It's not actually like giving more steam to the engine or putting more wind to the sails, but it's a time of a lull of the activity. It's like backwards motion. So it's a time when I think of like a car that goes into reverse direction, and that's when you adjust your steering wheel to go in the direction that you want to go in. So it's a good time to reassess, revise, re-strategize, recalibrate, relax, and rethink. So I'm just going to see what's coming up for Scorpio here in January. Looks like it opens up. Ooh, two kings facing off in reverse. Whoa, maybe in the family. Was there something that went on in the family, Scorpio, with either like a father and a grandfather facing off around the holidays, or as January opens? Is there any sort of conflict or dynamic between two authority figures? Because King of Swords and King of Cups are two power players, and the fact that they're showing up, staring each other down, and in the reverse position kind of says there's something going on here. Normally, now this could be interpreted in a number of different ways. King of Swords he's usually represented as an air sign, but it could be anyone who holds that archetype of King of Swords. So it could be Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini, but it also could just be someone who is very normally wise and fair, thinks things through. Swords represent the mental element, so the air element, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, those are all swords themes. And he is normally in accordance with the truth. I kind of call this the King Solomon card, because he makes decisions that are fair and wise and true, and using thought, usually using logic, usually using analysis. But when he shows up in the reverse position, it's saying that someone is not being fair. Someone is not being true. Someone is not in alignment with the truth, and they're not seeing things from a clear point of view, because clarity comes with King of Swords in the upright position. This is like when you're not seeing things clearly. So there's someone who's not seeing things clearly. This could be an air sign, or it could be like someone who's in an authority position, like a father, a landlord, a boss. Someone in an authority position who normally represents King of Swords he's upside down. He's not seeing things clearly. He's not his normal self. He's not necessarily in alignment with the truth. That's going on with him. And then King of Cups is the heart-centered king. So he is also compassionate, but he's like loving and tender and considers people's feelings. He's normally like one of the most compassionate cards. He's sometimes looked at as the perfect father or the perfect partner. He's like the loving king of hearts, you know. He's the king of love, the king of emotion, the king of mastery of emotion, and has always comes from a position of compassion, love, caring, tenderness, considering the other person's feelings. That's King of Cups when he's upright. In the reverse position, this could be like over emotionality, you know, getting spun out of shape emotionally, getting really volatile, getting really like heated emotions. So I'm kind of getting that there's a battle between emotion and thought. Now, this could be internally, Scorpio. It could be that these are both within you, like the strongest part of your mind and the strongest part of your heart are at battles with one another. Or it could literally be, you know, two family members. Usually King of Cups represents a water sign. So this is Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. So this could be you, Scorpio, facing off with an air sign, or someone who is equally strong or equally authoritative, but they're coming from a place of their beliefs being challenged or their thoughts being challenged, or something that they see as their truth being challenged. And you're saying, no, this is how I feel. And they're saying, no, this is what I think. And so this looks like a pretty epic battle. The reason I think it might be in having to do with the family is because this is of cups. This is normal. The cups in the upright is peace, it's joy, it's the most amount of cups on a card that one can get. And it's like literally like the joy at the end of the rainbow. It's when there's harmony in the family, joy, peace. It's all those beautiful emotion words, like, you know, lovingness, tenderness, caringness. You know, King of Cups is usually very much in alignment with this. This is what King of Cups' ideal goal is. However, with this card in the reverse, King of Cups in the reverse, and King of Swords in the reverse, there's some sort of epic battle going on. It could be internally within you, Scorpio, or it could be with you and someone else. Or it could literally be like, you know, one grandfather versus the other grandfather, one father versus the other father. The reason I'm saying those as male archetypes is because they're showing up as kings. So this person who rules this part is confronting the person who rules this part. And it almost might be that you're defending your family, Scorpio, that I'm seeing, you know, against this maybe outsider. I'm not sure, but it's something to do with the family, something to do with disrupting the peace, and something to do with an epic battle from someone who's coming from a heart perspective, emotional place, versus a thought and mind place. And this person isn't thinking clearly, and this person is out of whack emotionally. So be careful with, it looks a little bit volatile at the beginning of January for you, Scorpio. So I'm going to just say, push pause. The first week of January is a good time for you to push pause. And especially if there's a head-to-head battle, you know, it's a good time to pause and reflect anyway because of that Mercury retrograde. So I'm going to say whatever it is that is happening at the beginning of January, especially if there's a conflict in the family or if internally your heart is battling your mind, push pause. After January 8th or 9th is when you can start taking action. This is Knight of Swords. And this is actually about going forward with what you believe, going forward, experimenting and taking risks in defense of what you believe and what you think. So Knight of Swords takes action on things. He's courageous. He's daring. He is he's very, very logic-minded. Like he thinks things through, and he thinks about what he believes and what he wants to defend. He's like takes up a cause, and I think of like a fireman who goes into a burning building to like rescue people because he believes in the truth and believes in things being right. He wants to assert his beliefs. He wants to assert his thinking. He can be very like clear and insightful because he has an exceptional mind, but sometimes he can be a little blunt or a little too direct or a little too uncaring. So I'm going to say whatever is brewing here, make sure that you keep the heart aspect in mind, but it's good to take action after well thought out action, I'll say, because Knight of Swords is about thought and beliefs and wisdom and knowledge. Take action after eighth or ninth, because that's when you will be thinking clearly. That's when stuff is in the upright position, not all this reverse stuff. Then in the middle of the month, you've got Ace of Cups in reverse here and Ten of Swords in reverse. Sorry, Nine of Swords in reverse. So Ace of Cups is about having your heart filled. It's about a new joy, a new passion, a new love. It's water energy, just like you use Scorpio. So it's about having your heart filled. It's like, enlightenment from the deep waters. Because Scorpio is a deep water sign. You actually have to do with like the dark, deep waters. That's where all that depth comes from, that Scorpio has, that intensity. And in this card, we've got the lotus that's blossoming and blooming, which is a sign of enlightenment coming from deep, dark waters. And by the way, it creates joy. It creates peace. That's what this dove represents. And I call this card cup runneth over. It means having your heart completely filled. So an ace is a new beginning, by the way. So it's like you have a fresh start available to you mid-spring, but I'm seeing that you might have some difficulty accessing this Ace of Cups because of this tension or worry or anxiety. Could be related to money, or it could be related to the King of Swords in reverse, because this means being consumed in your thoughts. So Nine of Swords is a card of, you can see the hands are bound here. And I call this card making mountains out of molehills. So it's like, we all have things that we deal with, some thoughts or problems or, things that we have to consider. But if you take these 3 swords and make them into 9, you can create a lot more problems. Or this is a card of worry and tension and anxiety. And it's usually having to do with your mind going in circles. Or you're usually fighting this battle inside yourself, in your own head. So what I'm going to say is ask at the middle of the ask, is there a way in which I'm overthinking things and it's blocking me from accessing, this new love coming in, this new passion, this new joy? It might be like you're starting a project, but that you want to work on creatively, or it's something you love doing, but you can't get fully immersed in it because you got all this mind activity, Scorpio. And one of the things I offer when I see this Nine of Swords card come up is that this is all air energy, which seems to be conflicting for you right now. So think about any of the other elements that you can get involved with to dissipate the mind, the air energy. So if you can get involved with earth, that means like spending time in nature, connecting with your body, working, going outside, being like maybe gardening, anything that connects you with the earth is good. Or water, go spend some time by some water, or take a bath, or go swimming, or go into the ocean, or whatever connects you with water, Scorpio. Or fire. Fire is action. So fire is like exercise, or enthusiasm, or it's creativity, anything that has to do with action. All of those are other elements. When you have an overabundance of air, sometimes a way to balance that out is to bring in another element that helps balance it out. I'm going to say water, especially for you guys, because this Ace of Cups is all about water, and that's where joy and love and passion, which is a great word for Scorpio, passion can come about. Being totally filled emotionally and finding that peace. So I'm going to say go find some water. Even if it's like staring at a picture of a lake, however water can come into your experience, Scorpio, mid-month, it's going to help you get out of your head. Remember that if you find yourself in worry, tension, anxiety, going in circles in your head, splitting hairs, making mountains out of molehills, any of that, if you experience any of this like 2 fists bound especially regarding your mind or going in circles, over analyzing. This is a real card of over analyzing. Connect with water. That's going to help you. And then it could be that some of this worry or anxiety or tension is having to do with not having enough money. Because nine of coins is about self-discipline and having enough money for extra things left over, like the finer things in life. Like you can see she's eating grapes. She's got the 9 coins draped around her neck, like this golden necklace. She's got pearls and refined jewels and robes of purple. This is a real luxury card. So it may be saying that you're not getting to experience luxuries in the way that you would like to, that you haven't gotten to a place where you're a little bit worried about having money left over or excess, or there's something that's challenging. It'd be that you're thinking too about not being able to do some things that like other people are doing, that you haven't gotten to the same place of having extra money left over to do the nicer things. I'm also getting Scorpio with both of these cards in reverse. Both of these are 9s. 9 of air, which has to do with thought, and 9 of earth, which has to do with possessions, material things, assets, all of that. 9s are cards of ending and letting something go. And the fact that they're both in the reverse position, here's absolutely what I'm going to say about the 3 of these together. When you resist letting go of something, a new thing, an ace, this is new beginning, can't come in until you let go of this. So whatever it is that you're thinking about that has to do with things that you own, things that you want to possess, one of the lower aspects of Scorpio is that you guys can sometimes be a little bit possessive. Not all of you, some of you. It's a low side of the Scorpio trait, but what are you trying to possess and thinking about owning, thinking about having? Is this jealousy happening, Scorpio? Because what the 9 is asking, the reverse of the 9 cards, 9 is letting go, wrapping things up, end of a cycle. So what is it that you're not letting go of that is preventing you from having look at this, your heart filled, your cup runneth over, feeling totally emotionally joyful and at peace and full, intensity, passion, all of that. What's blocking you from having a new passion? The sense I get is if you're thinking about something, overthinking it, and trying to hold on to something that may not be yours anymore, it's blocking you from receiving a new passion. Once you figure this out, Scorpio, and get past it, look at what's on the other side for you. Abundance, prosperity. This is Empress, who is sexually satisfied. She's abundant. She grows. She's fertile. Everything that she touches grows around her. She's about prosperity, abundance, having more than enough of everything. I think of a modern version of Empress as like a diva, like Marilyn Monroe, like luxuriating by a poolside, like just, with people bringing her grapes and lemonade or, whatever she drinks. So this is feeling totally satisfied, totally full, totally like everything is blooming around you. She's often even pregnant because she's just satisfied in every single way. This is Venus, by the way. This is Venus energy. Femininity has to do with fulfillment in terms of love, sex, money, sensuality, femininity, anything that has to do with like Aphrodite or Venus, that's her. This is who you get to connect with, Scorpio, once you address what's going on here. So there is something you need to let go of mid-month. Stop thinking about it, or stop over-analyzing it, and stop trying to hold on to it, grasping it. Because once you let go of that, look what comes in, Ace of Cups. And that's where these 2 cards, it's about fulfillment. So I'm going to say, Scorpio, whatever it is that you're needing to let go of, ask yourself mid-month, what do I need to let go of? You probably already know, because the 9's energy are doubled here. So, and guess what else is coming out for you? New love. And things are changing, tables are turning. So this is, in the upright position, some readers just call this good luck. When you see the wheel card, it's like when everything clicks into place. I look at it as like the evolution of time. When time changes things, I look at it as like seasons changing, tables turning. Whoever's on the top is going to be on the bottom. Whoever's on the bottom is going to be on the top. So this is like the tides are turning. Time is evolving. Time is changing things. Like time is happening, and change is happening. So in the most simplistic way, this is just change. Change is afoot. So, and guess what? That might roll a relationship into your corner, Scorpio. Or if you're already in a relationship, it might be time to focus on that. It might be a nice exchange of hearts, because that's what this is. It's exchange of emotion, exchange of hearts. Again, it's that water symbology that is your element, Scorpio. So this is a wonderful time. This is a great card for love affairs. It's a great card for marriage. It's just two people connecting on a heart level and giving their hearts to one another. So beautiful time, end of January for you, Scorpio, to connect with someone. But first, you kind of have to connect with yourself and feel full. And then that changes things and you connect more with another. And then towards the end of the month, wow, you really do have something ending and opening and completing. Look at these two cards, both are like the zero cards. What's funny is like they are the very first and the end of the major arcana. This is the very first card of the deck, and this is the last card of the major arcana. It's like the alpha and the omega. So, but they're both in reverse. So it's saying, what are you resisting, Scorpio, about ending and feeling free? Both of these cards are great cards of freedom. There's a way in which freedom, adventure, faith, feeling supported by the entire universe. This is the zero card, and here's this big zero here, which means potential, all things being new, all things being open to you. This is a card of faith and optimism and naivete, feeling like the world is at your feet, that that all things are possible. This is a card of feeling totally complete and satisfied, like the end of a cycle, but ready for the new. This is like the portal. When this card shows up, then we recycle back to this one. So it really is saying that there is I'm really getting some sort of end for you in Scorpio. Here it seems like there's resistance to it, and here it almost seems like there's fear of starting something new. Look into that, Scorpio. Is there a way that you are fearing or resisting a new beginning? Because it's a beautiful new openness. It's really fresh energy for you, Scorpio. You can let go of whatever it is that you're needing to let go of. If you think about the number 9, and then you think of the number 0, I'm actually seeing it here too. So 0, 0, 0, all things are new. The slate is wiped clean, is what I get for the end of January for you. And especially, potentially with this relationship, it might be a relationship that you've had and the slate is getting wiped clean. You're starting anew and you're afraid about all things are possible now. Like, wow, this is kind of scary. This is a little intense. But usually Scorpios can handle intensity. So I'm just going to ask you, what is it about a fresh new start that it's coming, by the way? Ace of Cups. This is resistance to it too. Is there a way, Scorpio, that you're resisting a fresh new start? Because 9 energy is saying I'm resistant to letting go. And then this is an ace. This is 0 energy. And this is 0 energy. What way are you saying, I don't want, maybe it's resistance to the new year. Do any of you have any resistance to letting the new year in? Is there something from the past that you're not wanting to let go of or that you're worried about? Just questions to ask, Scorpio, but it looks like you've got a new fresh start, especially towards the end of January. If you're open to it, that's going to be the word that I'm going to use for you for openness. How do you connect with being open? So that's a reading for you, Scorpio, for 17. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up or share it with another Scorpio who you think might enjoy it. And I just hope everybody has a great new year. As always, thanks for watching. Yours in the stars.